Trump's 2025 education plan, implications for students, schools, and state authority education remains a crucial issue, and President Trump's policies have sparked substantial debate on how to effectively prepare students for their future. Whether you're a parent, educator, or student, let's delve into Trump's 2025 education initiative. Understand its potential impact on schools, funding sources, student opportunities, and federal versus state control over education. 1. Emphasizing school choices. Expanding charter schools and vouchers. A key aspect of Trump's education plan is advocating for school choice. He aims to increase funding for charter schools and voucher programs. These vouchers enable parents to utilize public funds for private school tuition. Trump has proposed allocating $5 billion in federal resources to assist families exploring these options. The rationale is that providing parents with school selection power will boost competition and elevate educational quality. Charter schools, while publicly funded, function independently from traditional schools. Vouchers empower students to attend private institutions despite financial constraints. Proponents argue this initiative enhances educational prospects for children in low-income areas. Conversely, critics fear it might divert crucial resources from public schools and lack solid evidence supporting benefits for all students. 2. Public school funding cuts? Another significant aspect of Trump's educational agenda involves diminishing federal funding for public education. This trend could reduce Title I programs that assist low-income students and special education services. Although Trump promises to protect student loans, the overall education budget is under pressure, resulting in fewer nationwide resources. Advocates for public education warn such cuts could exacerbate inequality and restrict opportunities for the most vulnerable students. There are also discussions about potential reductions in teacher salaries in specific regions and fewer resources for improving infrastructure, complicating ongoing efforts for districts to enhance facilities. 3. Vocational training and apprenticeships, a shift towards workforce readiness. Trump's education initiative emphasizes a shift away from only traditional four-year degrees towards vocational training and apprenticeships. He proposes expanding programs that allow students to obtain real-world experience while still in school, particularly in manufacturing, healthcare, and technology sectors. The goal is to prepare students for immediate entry into the workforce post-graduation, avoiding student debt. Trump advocates for partnerships between businesses and educational institutions to foster more job training programs and apprenticeship opportunities, enabling seamless transitions into careers. 4. School safety and discipline. In light of growing concerns about school violence, Trump prioritizes enhancing school safety. His administration supports increased funding for security measures, including armed resource officers and improved mental health services for students. Trump also champions policies that grant schools greater authority over discipline, removing stringent federal regulations to ensure order within schools. 5. Higher education, student loans and free speech. Regarding higher education, Trump's approach aims to alleviate the burden of student loans. His administration proposes changes to loan forgiveness programs to simplify repayment for students. However, critics argue these modifications may not significantly reduce the nation's total student debt. Furthermore, Trump strongly backs free speech on college campuses, opposing policies that limit expression, especially regarding political correctness or protest activities. His administration emphasizes the importance of protecting students' rights to express their opinions regardless of their political stance. Trump's vision for education, greater state control. Additionally, Trump advocates for a streamlined federal government in education, promoting greater autonomy for states and local districts. His strategy decentralizes control, empowering state governments to handle education policies, funding, and curriculum decisions independently from federal oversight. Key points supporting Trump's call for state-controlled education. 1. Reduced federal involvement. Trump argues for less federal interference in educational matters. He believes that decisions about schools should originate from local communities, with states and local agencies better understanding student needs. This approach seeks to eliminate federal mandates like the No Child Left Behind Act and Common Core state standards, which Trump criticizes as excessively rigid. 2. Enhanced control for states. In Trump's vision, states would gain greater authority over funding and operations. They could establish school choice programs and charter schools without adhering to federal regulations. Local school boards would have increased flexibility in curriculum decisions, potentially aligning education offerings with regional requirements. 3. Impacts on federal funding. Trump's proposal includes decreasing federal education funding, transferring budget responsibilities back to states. This funding reduction would enable states to prioritize education expenditures based on their unique needs. For example, the voucher system would allow families to allocate public funds for private education, enhancing parental choice. 4. Accountability at the state level. Under Trump's plan, responsibility for holding schools accountable for student achievements would shift to state authorities. States would create their standards and assessments, moving away from federally mandated benchmarks. Potential benefits and drawbacks of state-controlled education. Benefits: tailored education. States could customize their systems to better serve their communities. Increased innovation. With more flexibility, states could experiment with diverse models, including vocational training and apprenticeships. Boosted parental choice. School choice initiatives would empower parents, especially in underperforming districts. Drawbacks: greater inequality. States with fewer resources may see heightened disparities in educational quality, leaving poorer regions behind. Inconsistency across states. Without national standards like Common Core, educational quality may vary widely, affecting student preparedness for college and careers. Reduced support for vulnerable groups. Cuts to federal funding might jeopardize essential programs like Title I, potentially sidelining disadvantaged students. The final analysis: Trump's educational policies aim to empower states and local authorities, stressing school choice, vocational training, and safety measures. However, this strategy raises critical concerns about equity and the overall effectiveness of the education system, especially in under-resourced areas. While transferring control to states could encourage innovation and localized solutions, it risks exacerbating disparities in educational quality for disadvantaged students. Ultimately, Trump's vision advocates for increased freedom for states and parents, yet it poses significant challenges in maintaining national consistency and tackling inequalities. The future of education will depend on the implementation of these policies and whether they genuinely create opportunities for every student nationwide.